Welcome back. With us now are Dr. Renee Galbavy, a psychology professor who uses service learning activities in her classes, and a student from one of her classes, Casey Allard. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Renee, let's start off with you. How do you go about integrating service learning into your psychology classes?
Well, I began doing it because the research, there's no ambiguity about it. Having application components in a classroom is the best way for students to actually learn. And I really wanted to figure out how to marry the classroom learning lecture, which is very much what I do, is lecture, with some element of application. And so what I first decided to do was to incorporate it into my honors courses, my general psychology honors courses, and that's where Casey came in. And what I would have them do is 20% of their grade, they would have to spend 15 hours in a setting that they could justify related to psychology. In the case of Casey, she was at the
Circle of Hope
Therapeutic Writing Center. And obviously working with children with disabilities, so that was very much part of the psychological spectrum. And then taking their experience, the 15 hours, and I would have loved to have them do more hours, but it's a little bit daunting for students when they first find out how much time they're going to be outside of class. And take that experience and then write a research paper with references, psychological references, things that they've learned from class, and also the experiences that they've had at the site. And they had a number of different questions that they were to look at and to integrate into their papers.
So, Casey, you walk into class, you find out you have to do 15 hours or a lot of extra work that maybe you weren't expecting. Tell us a little bit about where you chose to be and what experiences you had there.
Well, when she first told me about the service learning, I was kind of like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting, I didn't really know what to expect, in other words. So she gave me a packet of all of the different organizations that I could choose from, and I was immediately drawn to Circle of Hope Therapeutic Horseback Riding, because I'd always wanted to work with horses, and I'd never had the opportunity when I was younger, so I figured this would be a cool thing to do. And then when I found out more about it, and working with kids with disabilities, that's something that I actually did do as when I was younger for community service. So I mean, it was really, for me, I felt like it was the perfect fit, because I really it was, well, number one, it was perfect to relate to psychology because it's stuff we were learning in class, and I got to work with horses. So I mean, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time, and everyone was so nice, and it was a great experience. I had a great time.
And she ended up submitting about a 12 to 15 page paper about her experience and the psychological element. And it was great because she talked about autism and Rett syndrome, the different syndromes she was working with, along with her experience. I mean, a perfect melding of sort of application and the classroom content, which is exactly what I wanted. I was just so pleased when I saw
it was very helpful to take, while taking the class, to get this firsthand experience. And basically I would come to class, and we'd be learning. She'd be giving the lecture and talking to us, and I would remember something like, oh my gosh, this is something that I actually witnessed the other day, and I would write it down so I could use it in my paper later. So I mean, it was a great reference point to just getting that firsthand experience and learning the psychology course even deeper and further. And I mean, it was perfect.
And I must say that she also ended up doing more time there, about double the time.
Wow.
Than
it was
required
so
to.
fun.
So.
I was there twice a week for I think I went on Thursday for 3 hours and Sunday for 3 hours also. And
so it really became much more than something just to do for class. It became something that you were really, truly passionate about.
And I mean, once I was there and I saw, I mean, everyone who was on the staff is so passionate about it. You can't help but get a sense of their passion, and it kind of grows on you. And yeah, and even the kids, I love kids, and I loved working with these kids and talking to them, and you know, I think when people say They want to learn more about these disabilities. I think there's, in a sense, I think we can learn more from them than about them, just because they can teach us so much. Just the way they live and the way that they live in the moment, and they're just the happiest kids. And it made me so happy to go there and learn. And
that's the only way service learning service learning allows students to have those kinds of experiences.
That hands-on, out-of-classroom experience.
Yeah, that you're not going to get in any other forum. And I actually started offering it as a extra credit assignment in some of my general psych classes, and I would have a lot of people take me up on it, and a lot of people that would tell these incredible stories about their experiences and how much they were able to integrate it, and a lot of people that spent more time like you ended up spending. It wasn't like that arduous 15 hours. She did much more than that. And
speaking of time, I wish we could spend a little bit more here, but thank you so much for sharing your stories with us today.
Thank you very much for letting us have an opportunity to talk, and thank you.
Thank you.
We have to take a short break. When we come back, we'll visit the Montgomery College Germantown campus to talk to some students who gave up a traditional spring break to help those in need. Stay with us. You're watching Campus Conversations.